Hello and welcome to Force.comcast episode 24, where we're going to look at our stateful wizard controller. So for the past few videos we've been looking at how we can build a stateful controller using JSON within Apex. What I've done is I've taken the code that we've previously been working on and I've started to write a wizard controller to work with it. So the code we have in this first constructor here is exactly the same code that we've been working with before. We've made a slight change because we're now having an opportunity controller, and in next week's video we're going to see how we can have a wizard that allows us to create an opportunity with many line items using this system, but for now it's just a simple placeholder controller. We've then added two more new methods, one for next and one for previous. What they do is they call the next page and the previous page methods respectively on the opportunity controller, and then they call the save state method. And the save state method is just doing our upsert, and it's pretty much the save method we had before. And then just returning null in the next and the previous to refresh the page. The page that we're working with uses the stateful wizard controller as its controller, and it's a very simplistic page at the moment. It just has 5 different output panels, and they just print out the different contents coming out. And we've got 5 steps in our wizard. We're going to go from page number 0 to page number 4, where we've defined in our controller the last page. Now we've got is 3 buttons here, previous and next, which render whether or not, depending upon whether or not the opportunity controller's page number is 0 or whether it is equal to the last page. And we've then also got a finish method that calls the finish method on the opportunity controller, and that's only displayed on the last page. As for our opportunity controller, if we go through this, we have a private page number that we're using to count in the background. We also have a last page public integer that we're using to return the last page. We could set this as final as well if we wanted to, and could probably lock it down a bit further, but here it's just allowing us to access it. And what we do is, in our constructor, we just define the initial page number, which is 0, and the final page, which is 4. Obviously we're counting from 0 because we're developers, and if we're starting to use arrays of pages or things like that later on, this is just going to make it easier for us. Our next page method, which is called by the stateful wizard controller, simply increments the page number if it's not equal to the last page. Our previous page method just decrements it if it's bigger than 0. And we have some helper methods here: get page number, is last page, and finish. Is last page isn't currently used, but we can refactor it to use it later. And the finish method is just going to be called on the final page, and that's just going to return us to the home screen. So now that we've seen this very simple setup, let's go into our system and look. So I've got a tab here called Opportunity Wizard, and that's going to open up our Opportunity Wizard page. You can see that the previous button isn't displayed, and our step 1 content is displayed for us. I can hit next, and the page refreshes, and our step 2 content comes through. You can see here as well that session state number 9 has just been created. And if we refresh this page here, in our list of all session states, we'll see that in the background it's recording that the page number is now 1 and the last page is still 4. We can keep on going, so we can have another next method we call. Just jump around a little bit. Back one. Let's go forward to the end. And I'm just going to go back. So we're on step 4 here currently, and we've got our step 4 content on. So one of the things I was saying to you at the start of this whole series of videos is that this is really, really useful for us if we want to navigate away from the page. So when we come to doing an opportunity wizard, as we'll see later, someone might come in, start creating an opportunity, and then need to jump away onto a different page. So they could open up a new tab for it, but if this is being displayed on a Force.com sites page or on another public-facing web page, someone might navigate away from it anyway. So for simple arguments, we're going to navigate away now. So we've navigated away, we're on step 4 there, and the step 4 content was being displayed for us. In our session states list, you can see that the current page number is still set correctly. And when we go back in and reopen that opportunity wizard, it takes us back to the correct step. So this is a really important final point for us because it means that when we are working with the system, it can return us to the correct point in the wizard. So next week, when we flesh out the wizard, just adding some fields really, we're going to be able to show that correct point on a nice graphic for us. So really, all the work that we need to do is actually done. all we need to do is kind of add the basic functionality for it to have some fields on there. If we hit the finish method, you'll see it takes us back to the main home page. We can reopen the wizard. And if we were doing that, the finish method might set some parameters to be closed, so it wouldn't allow us to come back and edit it and jump through again. It's a really, really simple and effective system for us. It's very lightweight for us, and it stores all the information we need in the background. So as I say, in next week's video, what we're going to see is the ability to have some S objects in there, and we're going to just populate them. And it will really just be adding some more visual elements to the page, rather than making any big changes to the way in which the process actually works. The basic frame that we've got in place now could be used for any sort of objects and allow us to really do any work we needed to very quickly and effectively. After that, we're then going to look at how we can use the streaming API and a polling system to allow us to constantly be saving in the background if we had something like a single page application. On a final note, as you can see from my date bar up here, it is the week before Christmas, so for anyone who is viewing this, we just want to wish you from Force.comcast happy holidays and to enjoy the season.